Cathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous?
Like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people. So how the gonna stand up for our people?
This is the reason everyone is talking about Jaguar Wright right now. And it all connects back to one name that refuses to stay buried: Cathy White. What began as a years-old industry rumor has exploded back into the spotlight, and the Carters are sitting directly at the center of it. Before we get to Jaguar, the foundation needs to be laid, because the timeline here matters more than anything else. Cathy White was a woman who, according to multiple sources and bloggers at the time, was allegedly carrying Jay-Z's child while involved in an affair with him. Then, in 2011, the same year Beyoncé walked onto the MTV VMA stage and announced her pregnancy to the world, Cathy White turned up dead inside her apartment, and the cause of death that circulated everywhere was a brain aneurysm. Publicly, that has never changed. Officially, a brain aneurysm is still what killed her, but a large number of people never accepted that, and Jaguar Wright just made sure the whole internet remembered why. Hollywood Street King was the person who originally broke the story of the alleged affair between Cathy and Jay-Z, which meant that when Cathy suddenly died, he was already locked in and paying close attention. Something about her death did not sit right with him from the start, and his reason for saying so carries real weight. Cathy had reportedly contacted him just days before she died, telling him directly that she felt her life was in danger. And then days later, she was gone. Anyone hearing that sequence of events is going to start asking questions, and Hollywood Street King decided to go find answers. What his investigation turned up directly contradicted the brain aneurysm story. An NYPD detective he claimed to have spoken with told him the cause of death was, at that point, uncertain, and that the circumstances were being treated as suspicious. A 911 call had come in from an apartment on West 19th Street in Manhattan. An ambulance transported Cathy to Beth Israel Hospital, and that is where she died. According to his account, the detective stated it was far too early to name an aneurysm as the cause, with toxicology reports still needing to be completed. And that is where the 2-week detail comes in, because in the weeks before her death, Cathy had allegedly threatened to go public about the affair with Jay-Z in exchange for money. And all of that allegedly happened less than 48 hours after Beyoncé's pregnancy announcement lit up the internet. That article spread everywhere. And then, according to Hollywood Street King, pressure came down and he was forced to pull it. Nothing on the internet stays gone forever, though. And that article resurfaced recently at exactly the wrong moment for the people it implicates. Hollywood Street King was not the only person in direct contact with Cathy White in her final days, and that is what makes this harder to dismiss. Journalist Liz Croakin came forward with her own account, and what she described adds a layer that no one has been able to explain away cleanly.
Consider telling her story to me on the record, which implied to me, obviously, that if she was willing to tell her story about Jay-Z, that it was indeed true that she was having an affair with him. So that was pretty much it. That was the last time that I talked to her, and I was, under the impression that she was very strongly considering talking to me and telling me her story about her affair with Jay-Z. So a few days go by and I'm following up with her, I'm calling her, and I can't get a hold of her. And I believe that this went on for a few days. And it was just really weird because she always answered her work phone. I thought it was really strange that she wasn't answering her phone. She was MIA. I didn't know what the deal was. So I ended up reaching out to one of her colleagues, and when I finally got hold of one of her colleagues, they told me that she's dead.
Two separate people, both in active communication with Cathy, both operating under the impression she was preparing to go public, and both found out she was dead through a third party rather than any official notification. That pattern is exactly why this story never fully closed. Around the same time people were picking apart how Cathy died, a separate thread was unraveling about Beyoncé's pregnancy, and the two conversations started bleeding into each other. A clip from an Australian television interview began circulating showing what appeared to be Beyoncé's baby bump, visibly bending and folding inward as she sat down, moving less like a stomach and more like fabric collapsing. Wendy Williams addressed it on her show and pointed out that in her own pregnancy experience, her bump never behaved that way when she sat down.
And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled. Hold on. As ridiculous as it sounds, you know, I had my baby bump. Many of you have had baby bumps. I never remember my baby bump squat. Just take a look at the video. Like this, right? Well, look, Beyoncé has denied these rumors, saying that they're stupid and they're ridiculous. Beyoncé's pregnancy is a way of keeping Jay-Z's alleged mistress away. Beyoncé is going to use a surrogate so she can maintain her body, but they're going to play it off like it's allegedly, you know, like they gave birth. Now, you remember I was the first one to say this, and you remember, because wait, I haven't said it yet. Watch. It's going to be an at-home water birth in the master bathroom. There are going to be 3 people there. Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and her mother, Miss Tina.
Jaguar Wright had been making industry allegations for years before this moment. But walking onto Piers Morgan's show and putting the Cathy White situation on a national platform was a different move entirely, and things escalated quickly after that. She called Jay-Z and Beyoncé a disgusting couple and accused them of deeply disturbing behavior that she claimed happened behind closed doors and away from public view. She alleged bodies were connected to their property. She alleged Jay-Z had some role in what happened to Aaliyah, and she went further by claiming that Jay-Z had financially backed the campaign behind Surviving R. Kelly, not out of any concern for the victims, but specifically to put distance between himself and R. Kelly, before law enforcement started publicly connecting larger circles. Dream Hampton's work on that documentary, Jaguar claimed, was being financed and directed by Jay-Z. She also stated she had spoken to hundreds of alleged victims and that 3 of them were currently willing to give direct testimony about both Jay-Z and Beyoncé. But here's the thing. What drew arguably more attention than anything Jaguar actually said was what happened after she said it. Jay-Z and Beyoncé's legal team allegedly reached out to Piers Morgan's team and pushed to have portions of the interview censored. Piers issued a public apology. The show is called Uncensored. The moment legal pressure lands on a cable interview about allegations, rather than a denial being issued through a publicist, a lot of people read that as confirmation of something, and the internet treated it exactly that way. Media personality Jason Lee entered the conversation around the same time, and what he described pointed in the same direction as everything else. The moment he started speaking publicly about Cathy White, he began receiving threats from people he described as powerful, warning him to drop the topic entirely. His response was to go on record and threaten to release incriminating evidence about Jay-Z and Beyoncé that had never been made public. A direct message followed, delivered through a video, telling Jay-Z to stop having intermediaries reach out and to call himself if he had something to say. When someone who had previously been seen as connected to that celebrity circle starts describing threats over a specific topic, the weight of that statement lands differently than it would from a stranger, and people noticed. One more piece surfaced recently and reignited the whole conversation all over again. A song called Daughter, featured on Beyoncé's 2024 Cowboy Carter album, contains lyrics that describe a violent physical confrontation with another woman, a body on the floor, blood stains on designer clothing, a torn dress, and someone left black and blue. Fans and commentators drew a direct line between those lyrics and the Cathy White allegations almost immediately after the album dropped. Beyoncé has not publicly addressed that connection in any context. Cathy White's official cause of death is still listed as a brain aneurysm. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have not addressed the Cathy White allegations directly. The toxicology report that Hollywood Street King referenced back in 2011 was never released to the public. The Piers Morgan interview was partially censored following legal pressure, and Jaguar Wright, Jason Lee, Hollywood Street King, and Liz Croakin have all either faced pushback, gone quiet under pressure, or reported threats after speaking on this story. What that pattern adds up to: every person who touched this publicly and then pulled back or got pushed back is something viewers are going to have to weigh themselves. What stays consistent is that the story keeps returning, and each time someone with a real platform picks it up, the reach gets wider. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this conversation is clearly nowhere near finished.